Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. To all my bed crimers, I hope you guys are having a lovely weekend. To anyone new here, a warm welcome. Thank you for checking out my channel. Let me just ask that after listening to this video or watching it, if you find you enjoyed it or learned something, do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment. Now, let's dig in. 54-year-old disgraced lawyer Alec Murdaugh is currently being tried for the deaths of his wife, 52-year-old Margaret, and his son, 22-year-old Paul. Margaret and Paul both lost their lives on the evening of June 7th, 2021, at the dog kennels on the family's sprawling 1,700-acre estate in Islandton, South Carolina. Today, on the 8th day of the trial, the jurors heard the audio from a Snapchat video taken by victim Paul Murdaugh. In the 58-second video, Paul is heard talking to his friend Rogan Gibson's dog as he tries to get an image of the canine's tail. In this Snapchat video, 3 distinct voices are heard: Paul's, his mother Margaret's, and another male voice. The third voice, if we are to believe the prosecution, belongs allegedly to Alec Murdaugh. Partway through the 58-second Snapchat video, you can hear Margaret say, "Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth." A third voice, one that sounds to me a lot like Alec Murdaugh's rather high-pitched voice, is also heard. Note that Paul recorded the Snapchat video from 8:44 p.m. and 49 seconds to 8:45 p.m. and 47 seconds on the evening of June 7th. He was at the family dog kennels where his friend Rogan's dog was being cared for. Paul and Margaret are believed to have been killed minutes after the Snapchat was taken. Paul's last activity on his phone was at 8:48 p.m. and 59 seconds, just about 5 minutes after the Snapchat video was taken. Margaret's last activity on her phone was at 8:49 p.m. and 27 seconds. It would appear that Paul died first and Maggie second. It seems logical that Paul and Margaret stopped answering incoming calls and texts made to them because they were unable to, meaning they were both deceased at 8:50 p.m. or perhaps a little after that. If this 58-second Snapchat video taken at 8:44 p.m. does include Alec Murdaugh's voice, then that would be proof that he was at the dog kennels with Margaret and Paul when they died. That would show Alec Murdaugh lied to law enforcement about his own whereabouts at around 8:48 p.m. to 8:50 p.m. And it would also pretty much point to him being the person who harmed Paul and Maggie, either alone or with the assistance of another person. Personally, I think if Alex is found to be the perpetrator, then he acted alone. As an attorney, Alec Murdaugh would know that it's a safer bet to commit a crime like this by yourself if you don't want to be caught, and if you don't want any witnesses, and if you don't want anybody to rat you out. Unfortunately, the Snapchat only includes video of the dog and the occasional glimpse of Paul Murdaugh's hand and his feet. It does not show the faces of the 3 people whose voices were heard near the dog kennels. Now, take a listen to that 58-second audio from Paul's Snapchat. I'll also play the video at the end of my video so you can see it.
Is it?
Now, compare that third voice, the male voice, to Alec Murdaugh's voice as recorded during his first interview on the night Paul and Margaret died.
I mean, I can't tell you anybody that I'm overly suspicious of off the top of my head. Okay. You know? I mean, this is such a stupid thing. I'm even embarrassed to say it. But it just didn't make any sense. I just hired a guy out here, and he wasn't cutting the mustard, but I hadn't told him this yet. Paul's been working with him a lot. He killed the sunflower seeds in our dove field just recently, which is why Paul was here doing this. He told Paul a story the other day about how when he was in high school.
Okay, now I'm going to play the Snapchat audio once again. Keep Alec Murdaugh's distinctive voice in mind as I play this. Let me now isolate just the very brief section where we hear Margaret saying, "Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth," and then a male voice after that. And that's the one that everybody is wondering, is that Alec Murdaugh? Take a listen. What I'm hearing that third voice, that male voice say is, or a rock. Listen again. And here's Alec Murdaugh's voice in that first interview, again from June 7th, the same night.
3 Navy SEALs, and that their job was...
What do you think? Does that third voice belong to Alec Murdaugh? If so, he's in a whole lot of trouble. Note that Paul's friend, Rogan Gibson, testified in court today that he is 100% sure that Alec Murdaugh is the third person whose voice was heard in that Snapchat video. That's pretty darn compelling testimony from the person who was on the receiving end of Paul's Snapchat video and texts from the night from June 7th. Note that Alec Murdaugh burst into tears when this audio was played in court. Was he crying because he heard the voices of his deceased son and wife? Or was he crying because he realized that his goose may be cooked? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Was that Alec Murdaugh in the background? Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories. Do me a favor, if you appreciate my effort, please smash that like button and subscribe to my channel.